Alright, so I'm trying to do the 20-ounce Tangram. So I cut this pattern out on my Cricut. And now I'm going to put my transfer tape on. Now this is my first time doing one of these. So we're going to see how it goes, because this is like a full wrap around the cup. And it's measured out. I don't think it's going to reach the whole top and bottom. I put my transfer tape on, and I want to try to make sure there aren't any wrinkles in it. So there, we got it pretty smooth. I just want to make sure all these little designs are stuck to my transfer tape. So we want to pick every single one of them up. We don't want to have to piece it back together. And if I can find my scraper tool, I think I put it over here. Use my little Cricut scraper. And this kind of presses it down a little bit better than doing it with your hands. Alright, I think that's good. Alright, so now I have a 20-ounce skinny tumbler. This is from Stainless Steel Depot, so this is a hog. And these ones do have a little bit of a taper. That's why my pattern here is measured. It's a little bit wider at the top than it is on the bottom. So we have this, and what I like to do is trim away my excess, because I don't want all of that hanging and getting in the way. So I just trim right along it. A little bit extra is okay. We just want to have the least amount of issues. So we don't want anything else getting stuck that doesn't need to be. So just kind of close. You don't want to cut your vinyl. So just be very careful of that. Now you guys might see me get pretty frustrated. I hate doing full wraps. I've done it once, and I was doing a leopard print, and let me tell you what, it would not come off my transfer tape, and I probably spent a whole 2 hours trying to get it on there. So I'm trying to see what the best way to do this is. So I think I'm gonna put, don't cut all the way through. You just want to cut this backing. So I think I'm just going to do very lightly, go down the back of this, pretty close to the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then what I want to do is just cut it enough to where I can peel up one side. I don't want to cut my vinyl underneath. So I'm trying to be very careful. That didn't work too well. Alright, well, we'll just do it from the side because I don't want to cut into my vinyl here. So, I don't know if my cup holder is going to help or not. So we have our little 20 ounce. Now I'm going to peel the backing away from the vinyl. And I don't want to peel the whole thing off. I just want to get the edge started. So what I do is I get that little edge, and then I fold this down so it doesn't stick back down to my vinyl. Now you want to make sure your wider side is at the top, because the top of the tumbler is bigger around the top. So now I'm just going to try to line this up as straight as I can. There might be a little bit extra room at the top and bottom, but that's okay because we can always add some extra glitter in there. I don't think that is straight, so you got to be very, very careful. Okay, I think it's straight enough. So what I do is I make sure this edge is pressed down really well, because you don't want it popping off when you go to take this other transfer tape off. So you can kind of slowly peel it back and then roll your tumbler, or you can go from this side and press down. And then this way also, like I can see I got tons of air bubbles already. So I'm hoping, ooh, I can't get it off. We'll work those bubbles out in just a minute. So what you want to do is you want to smooth as you go. You don't want any air bubbles in here. A little bit is okay, because this isn't getting covered in epoxy, because we are going to take each one of these little triangles off, or I guess you could say little designs, and put Mod Podge and then glitter. So they're kind of just a template. So it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. You just want them to line up at the end. So I'm hoping I got this pretty straight, so they line up at the end. When you get closer to the end, you're going to want to be careful, because you're going to have to peel up the transfer tape on the other piece where we started. See, like right here, my vinyl, it's not sticking. You got to watch for that, or you're going to get to the end and you're going to have to piece it back in. Alright, so now I'm getting to the end. I'm going to go ahead and peel this off, because I need to peel up my transfer tape on this other side before I lay down the end piece. So you just want to slowly roll it back, because you don't want it lifting up your vinyl. I know this is a very long process. You have to be patient, or you're gonna make yourself aggravated because you mess something up and it's hard to fix. Alright, so I've got this peeled up enough. So now when I lay this piece down, hopefully it should line right up. And I didn't do too bad. There's a little bit of overlapping, but I think that'll be okay, because we are going to glitter this. And I'd rather have it overlapping than spaced apart. So now, here's the challenging part. You gotta peel this transfer tape off and not peel up the rest of the vinyl. So if you get pieces that are sticking, you just gotta peel them off your transfer tape. And I'm using Oracle 631, which is a removable vinyl, because you don't want permanent. Permanent will stay on the tumbler and be very hard to remove, or it's going to leave a residue. So anytime you are doing a tumbler that either a peekaboo, which is where you have like glitter underneath and then you put the decal on after epoxy and peel it up so it shows the glitter underneath, you want to use removable vinyl. Like I said, with this Tangram tumbler, we are going to be removing each one of these little sections to put glitter onto. And when I remove my transfer tape, I pull at a really tight angle. Like I said, I'm holding here and then rolling my tumbler, and see how it's super tight to that edge? That kind of helps to keep the vinyl from lifting. So there we go. My transfer tape. I always save my backing, especially for something like this, because it's such a big piece, and transfer tape you can reuse as long as it's sticky. It'll hold vinyl. So I usually just put it right back on my transfer sheet. And this actually isn't even transfer tape. This is from Dollar Tree. It's the contact paper. So I get the clear, and so I can still see my decals and everything. But there's our design on there. And I'm going to probably do a part 2, because it is 1 o'clock at night and I have to get up early and watch kids. So this might be a part 2. And I can see where my vinyl lines up, that it's off by just a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that real good, but my lines aren't lined up perfect. But that's okay, because when we go to glitter this, you can kind of fix it a little bit. And if we need to, we're going to be putting nail striping tape on this to break apart all these sections. So it will cover that seam, and even if they're off just a little bit, you're not going to notice once it's completed. So that's how I put my vinyl onto tumblers all the way around. Like I said, if it's got air bubbles, that's completely fine, because we're going to peel this off anyways. It's not going to affect anything. So there you go. I'm going to do a part 2, and I will be back on as soon as I can. Maybe not tomorrow. It's a busy, busy day. Bye, guys.